Welcome to lesson number 12, Mu'tada, group number 7. Here, a small little rule that we have to understand before we can go any further. And that rule is that if there's a woman who has bleeding less than 15 days, this will render the blood that comes after. So the blood that comes after those days, less than 15 days, will render that blood after it into istihada. You won't consider it as haidh. Number 2, if the blood, however, goes beyond the habit or goes into the habit, then the habit days will be considered as haidh as long as 3 or more are found within it. Okay, so right, let's look at example then. First one, 5 days, 14 days of purity, and then 5 days of bleeding. And notice the purity is less than 15 days, so here the habit is all the way on the other side. So because of this, all of these 5 days are rendered as istihada, so she does not stop praying, she continues praying, and no need to do ghusl or anything. She just performs her wudu because of the bleeding, and that's it. Okay, and that's because 14. Right, so what do we say? We say here that no need for a bath, and as for the blood, then the blood is not applicable here, and purity will continue. Right, she'll be considered to be in the state of purity. Okay, scenario number 2 is if the bleeding is of 3 days, and then what happens is 14 days of purity, so all these 3 days will be rendered as istihada according to the rule that we just done. Scenario number 3, again 8 days of bleeding, so what will happen is that the 8 days will be rendered as istihada because of the 14 days of purity, and so same rules apply as before. Scenario number 4, I'm going through this a bit quick because it's very simple. 14 days of purity, and so 2 days of haidh or 2 days of bleeding. These 2 days are not considered as haidh because of the 14, so they become istihada. And scenario number 5, okay, now this is very important to understand. If the bleeding was to go beyond, let's say, into the habit, as soon as the bleeding goes into the habit, then we count, actually let's count this, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so 13. So 2 days have come in the habit. So what we say here is this, that at that point she stops praying. Now she considers herself to be going into haidh. Right, so she stops praying there. But because the days only lasted for 2 days, less than 3, that's istihada, and we know everything before is istihada anyway because of the 14 days of purity. So all of it, the 13 days, are rendered as istihada. Right, and then at the end of that she only has to perform wudu because 2 days does not qualify for haidh. Right, so the blood is not applicable here, and the purity continues. Okay, continues to go on. Right, so that's 2 days have appeared inside the purity, inside the habit, but we don't consider it as haidh. So number 6, right, now this one is where we consider 14 days. So we have 14 days here this time, and notice this time the blood comes 3 days into the habit. So let's just draw up these lines then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 3 days have appeared within the habit, and because the habit's there, so we say stop praying there, and because there's 3 days it qualifies for haidh, so therefore we say that these 3 days are haidh, and everything that's before it, the 1 to 11 that is, will be considered as istihada. And there we have an example of the 14 days of purity, but haidh has come within the habit. So here she has to take a bath because it's haidh, and the other rules apply to her as we've done before. So 3 days of bleeding occurs within the habit, the habit days, and so therefore we say that's considered to be haidh. Blood is 3 days, purity is 25 days. Okay, so that's the haidh basically. Okay, hope that makes sense. Jazakumullah khair.